Hi folks, today we have a little guest from right back from 80s, a small and nice Technics M205 stereo cassette deck. Let's take a look at the front panel. Here is the power button. When this button is pressed, then the lights turn on here behind the VU meters. A few words about the VU meters. They are large enough with quite thin needles, and also there is a small LED which turns red when the deck goes to record mode, like this. Okay, well, let's continue. Here we can see tape controls. Those controls are very nice. Those are so-called one-touch buttons. You need a very little effort to push them, so it is very easy to operate. Next thing is the phones. The phones here are not controlled, so the volume here has always the same level in the headphones. Mechanical counter, then 3 switches for different functions. One switch is to select different different type of tape. As you can tell, this deck recognizes metal tape. Then Dolby noise reduction, it's just on and off. And this deck equipped with the front jacks for the microphones, and it also has a line in at the rear panel. So when you record, you can switch between line in and microphones. And finally, for both those inputs, you can adjust recording level for left and right channels accordingly. Well, let's take a look at the back panel. The rear panel of this deck is quite simple. There is nothing quite significant. All we can see here is input-output wires, RCA wires. Then there is a power cord, and some technological hole. Nothing much. So that's all about the rear panel. It's very simple. Let's take a look inside. All we can see here is a motor, power supply unit, and control board with discrete and integral circuits. As you can tell, there is a lot of space available, and unit itself is not that big. Typical assembly, traditional assembly for those years. Very clean design, and not many parts inside. Finally, a few words about advantages and disadvantages of this nice deck. First off, let's talk about the disadvantages. There are a few weak items in this deck. First of all, built-in wires. You saw them at the rear panel. If you want to use better wires, you have to disassemble the deck and replace them using some soldering skills. Second thing, this deck uses Technics MX head, which was advertised as hard to wear or wear resistant, but some reviewers admit that it is not that wear resistant. So I assume if you have some low hours on the head of this deck, it will sound okay. And the biggest disadvantage here is that the phone's output is not controlled. There is no volume control for the phones, so it's always the same level. But this deck has many nice features as well. First of all, it has very easy to operate buttons, one-touch buttons. When you record on this deck, the only button you need to use is record, that's it. Then it also has a very sweet feature. It's called autoplay after rewind, or rewind autoplay. If you press simultaneously rewind and play, then the tape will be rewinded automatically and the playback will start without any additional action, so you can enjoy the music in your seat. And the most important, this deck has a very nice sound. It is easy to record on this deck. It has accurate playback, especially if you use chrome or metal tapes. Well, this is the end of the review. Thank you very much for watching my channel. Subscribe to my channel, leave comments, likes, dislikes. This is something that keeps me working on new videos. I'm also glad to help you with your audio gear. So, thank you for your time and see you soon again.